but I just don't talk about those decks.
Well, generally those colors are bad, so
that's
it doesn't
really what
matter
it comes
anymore.
down to. Sultai is pretty good, but that's about it. So, we're getting set up for round 3 here.
Yeah.
We have Infect versus Jeskai Stoneblade.
Sounds pretty in favor of the Stoneblade deck.
Yeah, I feel like Umezawa's GT is one of the best cards to beat Infect, followed up closely by Knight of Souls Betrayal.
I'm not sure if the deck's playing Knight of Souls Betrayal.
I doubt that it is.
Yeah.
But, there are decks that do play Knight of Souls Betrayal, exclusively for the Infect matchup. It's also pretty good versus Death and Taxes.
Yeah. Also all the Lightning Bolts and the Wastelands and the Source of Plowshares.
Vendilion Click Flies, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
What else do we got over there that matters?
Probably like wear and tear out of the board.
Oh yeah, that could matter. Blood Sylvan Library and your Manland. I can see that mattering.
Yeah.
Force of Will, of course, is always an important one.
Yes.
And True Name Nemesis blocks Glistener Elf, but misses the other 8. Not great. All right.
True Name, I don't think is going to be the key factor in this matchup.
Not even at all. Not even a little bit.
No, in fact, I think if you're looking for a card to snap board out, it will be True Name Nemesis.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just waiting for our spotter to get back to the computer so we can go down to the match.
Okay. You can jump over if you want.
I'm just going to do that,
Yeah. I'll just sit here for a second. We're going to get down to the match, because I'm assuming they're shuffling up and getting all ready to go. Yep.
So these guys are just going to go ahead and start their matchup.
Looks like Mac is on the mulliganing side, I believe.
On the discount side. And Alex looks like he's got a hand with double Force of Will. I didn't really see the rest of it. I saw a drop.
Yeah. I believe Alex has quite the collection of beta cards, too. So.
Yes. I believe he was playing Vintage.
Yes, he was.
He had a very foiled Shops deck.
He was my one win.
Oh, nice.
I was able to Hercules and then storm off twice against him.
That's what I like.
Because I had very good hands. I also knew he was on Shops, so I kept a land-heavy hand.
Makes sense. Get to play around that a little bit.
Yeah, when game 1 you're playing against Shops and you see both your basic lands in your opener, yes, you keep that.
Seems pretty good. So Alex started out with a Inkmoth Nexus and then played a Glistener Elf.
Yes.
Mac is going to end Alex's turn by brainstorming, and he's got a very stacked hand right now. He might have been on the mulligan, but this hand has a ton of interaction. The Council's Judgment and Swords of Plowshares are probably going to be some premier removal spells. I can see that Spell Pierce mattering a lot too.
Council's Judgment seems a little iffy because it just costs so much and it's sorcery speed.
It's a little slow, but I easily see this game going turn 2 Mac, Swords of Plowshares, the Inkmoth Nexus, and then untaps and Council's Judgment, the Glistener Elf off the table.
Well, the thing is, he doesn't have the third land.
That's very true, but he's obviously got to draw in there, or he can use that Brainstorm to dig too. Looks like he's going to fetch right away.
Yeah.
Getting a Tundra, I imagine. Maybe he's getting a Plateau if he runs a Plateau. Nope, he's getting a Tundra.
Tundra makes sense.
No red spells in his hand, no reason to expose that red card.
Yeah.
And at this point, Alex doesn't really know what Mac is playing.
No.
It matter. If Mac were to drop a counterbalance right here, he could see that coming. You're on counter miracles. Instead, we're going to see a sorcery speed Swords of Plowshares on that Glistener Elf. I don't know if I like the sorcery speed. I always like casting my removal spells at the end of my Infect player's turn.
Yeah, I kind of like that too. I would much rather get rid of that Inkmoth Nexus.
Yes, I also think killing Inkmoth is a much bigger deal.
I mean, I almost would have brainstormed in response to the Glistener Elf and potentially fought over it, actually.
Yeah, playing a Force of Will there is a big deal. It's one less card you have to use in Luke's one. Now Alex is going to play a second Inkmoth Nexus.
Okay.
Attack with the first one. We got one Infect. We're going to have to put some sort of Infect counter. Oh,
yeah.
Man, Mac is way ahead of the game.
Yep.
He knows what's going on.
And just drawing for his turn makes sense.
It's a Spell Center.
Spell Center's good. It's powerful. It doesn't hit any of the pump spells, does it?
No, it doesn't. Invigorate costs 3 mana. Become Immense costs 6 mana. There's an Engineer Explosive right there for Mac. You might be able to play that.
Yeah, that'd be powerful.
However, it's a little land light.
He got a...
I believe that's a land. I believe it's an island.
Okay, yeah, it is an
Snow-covered variety.
That's not good. He's going to be brainstorm locked.
Yes, he is.
I would keep that.
The counterspell.
I'd keep the counterspell.
Counterspell,
I'd put back the Spell Snare.
I'd hide a Force of Will or a Spell Snare, I think. And I'm going to see if that counterspell punishes him or not. Looks like Alex has a.
I think the only thing the snare hits is like days,
Glistener.
which doesn't matter. I guess
Glistener has a pretty good deal.
the
Or Blighted Agent.
Blighted
I always get the name of those two confused.
well, like in this situation, I'm trying to think. Because Blighted Agent doesn't really matter when he has 2 weak monsters.
Yeah. I imagine the spell snare is going to be pitched to a Force Will.
Ah, yeah, excellent.
Oh, we got a poison counter right there. Bam. That's what I like to see.
I believe that is made by Casey. This looks like the art of Casey Hogan.
It does. You know, it was pulled out of the box that we keep all of the sweet stuff in. So it looks like there's going to be an Invigorate for free. Give you some life.
Yeah.
Not that that matters. Let's see what Mac decides to do. I don't think you let this resolve, but you also don't really want to get into a fight over it. The time to get into a counterspell war is not when your opponent is attacking you. You want to do it at the end of the Infect player's turn, so that any pub spells they play don't actually matter. We're going to see Force Will. It's going to pitch a Spell Snare. He's going to get rid of that. We're going to see a Force back. That's going to pitch a Force. And, you know, Mac has a Spell Pierce in his hand.
Yeah, this is where I'd really like the counterspell, though.
Yeah, exactly. He could use the counterspell here, but instead it looks like he's going to have to play Forcible and pitch that Spell Pierce. Maybe he pitches that Brainstorm so he has a counterspell backup.
You can't pitch the Brainstorm.
Oh, he's going to Brainstorm in response.
I don't like that either.
I feel like if he had kept the counterspell, he'd be in great shape here. Oh, wow, he finds the Swords of Plowshares.
Or just Swords of Plowshares is the next card down.
That
That
seems
seems good. That seems good.
Can't really set that one up any better than he did.
No. I would put back the counterspell.
I think you're going to pitch the counterspell here. We're going to see a Swords in response. That Swords is going to resolve. Mac has to feel very excited about this.
Yeah.
And I feel like Alex might have pulled the trigger a little too early. I don't know if he needed to play the Invigorate there.
Yeah, that might have been a bit early.
Mac's going to draw. It's that Spell Pierce he just put back. He's got to ship the turn.
But he's still like... Oh, and he just draws another Invigorate. Cool.
That's pretty cool. Mac is only at 1 Infect. He's going to go to 3 off this swing. Alex has to not fire it off here. He has to know not to play the Invigorate. He's going to play a Dryad Arbor and pass the turn. He's getting a little mana flooded.
A little bit. I mean, when half your mana is creatures anyway, it doesn't really...
I suppose that's a good point. We're going to see an EE get played on 1 mana. That's going to be able to blow up that Glistener Elf at the end of Alex's turn, I suppose.
Yeah. Which does something, I'm not sure if it does enough. And it is a timely days. Exactly what he needs.
Just a little late.
These cards are all very nice and foil.
Except for that Trop. Why isn't that Trop foil? We're going to see an attack with all of them boys.
Yep.
That Dryad Arbor for 1 damage is getting in. You just take this, end step, crack that EE, I'm pretty sure. It's too bad Engineer Explosives on 0 does not blow up lands that are creatures.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
Now with that Invigorate, he is...
Yeah, he's got lethal next turn, actually.
I mean, it's forcing Mac to hold up Counterspell every turn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really how you want to play this Infect deck. You don't actually want to play these Invigorates until your opponent gets tricked, basically. You want to force them to... You want to force the non-Infect player to make the first move, and then you can use something like an Invigorate when you're attacking multiple creatures to pump whichever one is not getting removed.
Yeah.
We're going to see Mac go to 6 Infect and 19 life.
There you go.
And Alex's hand, it doesn't look too powerful. He's got an Invigorate, a Daze, and a Fetch land.
Huh.
We see another Fetch land from Mac, so that's going to be able to get him his second white.
And another land, not what he's looking for.
I think you play the Fetch land. You want to play the Fetch land because if you draw Brainstorm, you can use a Fetch land to turn it into a perfect Brainstorm.
There you go.
But you want to hold as many other lands as possible in your hand so you can put them back.
So you can get rid of them.
So you can have an even more perfect Brainstorm.
Exactly. The formula for a perfect Brainstorm is those fetches. Fetch, Brainstorm, most powerful combo in Legacy?
Certainly up there. I think Infernal Tutor LED might take that mantle.
Yeah, because Demonic Tutor and Black Lotus,
Yeah.
a little more powerful than
A little bit.
just Ancestral Recall.
Yeah, a little bit more. Ancestor Recall plus a land drop.
Yeah.
So Mac's going to jam a True Name Nemesis, which actually doesn't do anything on this board. I don't think that Alex is going to win this game by beating with that Dryad Arbor. I think he's going to win by beating with that Inkmoth Nexus,
Yeah, that seems right.
which has the flying. He's going to attack with the Dryad Arbor?
No.
Oh, he's casting a spell here. Okay. He's going to cast a green sun for 1. What's that going to get? Dryad Arbor or
No, it's going to get a Noble Hierarch.
I was thinking Deathrite Shaman or Noble Hierarch, and it's going to be a Noble Hierarch for sure.
No, because Noble Hierarch, that's a 2-turn clock.
Yeah.
3. That takes a whole turn off.
Looks like Mac is going to get into a counterspell war here.
Yeah.
And he's going to get blown out by this Invigorate, I think.
Seems like it. Well, no, he has like the Force Blue card in hand, so...
He's got Force Blue card and
Counterspell.
Right. He can pitch the Spell Pierce to the Force Blue.
Yeah.
See Counterspell.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to get dazed.
Wow.
If you're Mac, do you want to force this daze? Man, I feel like he got very punished for playing that True Name Nemesis here.
I think he just got to do it, though, right? Well, maybe not, because it doesn't do enough.
Yeah, I think you just let it happen. I don't think you pitch here. I feel like you're dead if you pitch, and he has to know that.
I agree.
I think he's noticing it. Oh, this is tough. Infect is very good at kind of backing you into a corner and then making them... You, as a non-infect player, you have to know what your opponent's got and play around it appropriately. Alex is going to have to correct this fetch if he wants to... or maybe he'll just...
No, yeah, I think he had the mana floating and activated.
Oh, right. Because he dazed the drop that he did not tap to play. Oh, it looks like he's going to crack anyways, though. Oh, he's got a Berserk. That'll be lethal.
That would be lethal.
And Mac, of course, has a counterspell, but Alex has a free Invigorate as well.
The Berserk is gone.
And Alex is like, you're hellbent, right? That's what's going on here?
Yeah.
Oh, the last card might not be an Invigorate. Oh, he's got 2 cards. I think one of them's an Invigorate. No, they're 2 drops.
Oh,
The entire time we thought was an Invigorate.
Invigorate, it was a Berserk.
Yeah, must have been.
Well, I expect the Alpha, Beta, Unlimited Berserk always.
Yeah.
But I guess if he's foiling out his deck. I mean, I think the Beta Berserks would have gone nicely with his Beta Duels, but...
Yeah, the only way to play Beta spells is off of Beta Duels. Everyone knows that. They're more powerful that way.
Might have had a better chance of resolving it.
And that last swing from the Inkmoth Nexus is going to be lethal.
Yeah.
Alex is going to take that game with 10 infect damage. The slow way.
11 infect damage.
The fair way, if you
Yes.
will.
So, Pithing Needle seems good.
Oh, yeah.
There's a Gideon ally of Zendikar I just saw.
Fancy. How do you feel about Aethersworn Canoness?
I like Aethersworn Canoness.
I think it's got its uses, but it's definitely can be a double-edged sword. None of those other cards look too relevant for the Infect matchup. What card do you really want versus Infect? That's the question. Besides Malira.
Cheap mass removal. Things like Pyroclasm I like.
Okay.
Engineered Explosives is good. The card I really want is it Staticaster every time.
Yes, that's what I was thinking of.
Is it Staticaster?
Does this deck have any red? You know, I haven't actually seen any red.
I have not seen it red either. It looks more blue-white. And he has a lot of basics.
Yes. We saw so many basics last game.
I would imagine there's a third. Is EE that good in a two-color
I
deck?
don't think so. I don't think it's great. I also don't think your mana base gets hurt that much by... Was that a Talon Performance? You know what that matchup was for?
Lands.
Yep.
You know what? You know what? There's a lot of here tonight.
Lands.
So and Storm.
Yeah. Except post board, when you board in Telemann Performance, they board in Xanthan Spore.
Yeah, but then your spells are uncounterable, so...
Yeah, you're very true. They've got so many counter spells in their deck.
You know what I don't like bringing in is that Supreme Verdict.
Yeah, it can't be countered though.
It can't be countered, but getting to turn 4, yeah, he's gonna bring it in.
I feel that turn 4, the card that matters is Inkmoth Nexus, and the card that Supreme Verdict doesn't hit is Inkmoth Nexus.
Yeah, I agree. Excuse me.
Yanni too.
I don't know about... Okay, I like some taking out the counter spells.
I like bringing out that Spell Snare too.
Spell Snare seems bad. Though I could see the argument for Spell Snare because Alex could have some number of Sylvan Libraries to bring in. which would be kind of good.
Oh yeah, that's good spell start target. I think you got to bring out True Name Nemesis here.
Yes, I
don't
agree.
think True Name Nemesis does anything.
Yes.
I'd bring out True Name Nemesis, and I'd probably bring out the sword. I think that maybe I'd bring out Batterskull actually. Keep the sword, bring out Batterskull. I don't think the Batterskull matters.
I think he already pulled out the better skull.
Oh, okay.
He pulled out the Council's Judgment, which I agree with. Actually, no, I don't agree with the Council's Judgment post-board, actually, because I expect Alex to have some number of, like, Null Rod or Pithing Needle of his own. Because, to be honest, if I was Alex, I would be a little confused about the Engineer Explosives I saw and the Spell Snare, but otherwise it looked very straightforward Miracles.
Yeah, Miracles that didn't hit a top or a counterbalance.
Yeah, like, there's... The Jeskai Stoneblade decks generally don't have 4 basic islands.
Yeah, that I think is really the signifier.
So I would board expecting Miracles. So I'd board in some anti-top 8. And it also, like, Null Rod also shuts off Engineer Explosives, which you've seen.
Yeah, you've already seen the card. It wasn't great, but, you know, it did come out.
It wasn't great. It wasn't great, but it can be great. Like, if it's getting a Glistener Elf and a Noble Hierarcher, too, it's just...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll see exactly how these post-boarded decks play out. I'm heading down to game 2 right now.
Well,
Man, after that Didgeridoo deck, nothing's exciting anymore. I
nothing
see all
really
I
is.
wanted to see,
Yeah.
which was someone put in Boros Battleshaper.
I wish I could see it actually get more than one turn, game 3. That would have been cool.
Yeah. Maybe if you land some hate cards and was beaten down with Boros Battleshaper. So you see that Supreme Verdict in hand, and you know what? It's probably just going to get pitched to Force of Will.
Probably. That would be the argument to bring it in, is that it's a creature wipe that can easily get pitched.
Yeah. So at least it's not
But
good.
otherwise, this hand looks pretty solid.
Yeah, I agree. He's got a Brainstorm, he's got a Force of Will, he's got Engineered Explosives, he's got Mishra's Factory. The main problem this hand has is it's only got 1 Swords of Plowshares, and that's the only answer it's got for an Inkmoth Texas.
Yeah.
Or a Glistener Elf. Or Blighted Agent, sorry.
Yeah.
Unblockables.
That's why I really like Pithing Needle. It just shuts everything off for a while.
Yeah, absolutely.
Croson Grip. Croson Grip is also something I expect to see coming in from Alex.
I love Croson Grip. Big fan of that card.
Yeah.
I got very good at playing around it when I was playing Miracles. It's a skill. I don't really like playing the Factory there. I don't think you're going to be activating in the next 3 or 4 turns, so I think Colored Mana is a little bit more at a premium.
I can see that.
We're going to see a single fetch. He's going to get a Trop here. I imagine he's going to Brainstorm and then crack that other fetch.
Brainstorm's good. Going for the perfect Brainstorm?
The perfect Brainstorm. Is it even more perfect because you started with the fetch land?
Sure. Get those lands out of your deck.
Double perfect Brainstorm. 2 for 1.
Yeah.
There's a crop rotation now.
Crop rotation, yeah. Wasteland, a couple of Force of Wills. I think that's a Croson Grip.
Quite a bit of interaction.
Oh, maybe it's an Invigorate. I don't know. I can't tell these green cards.
Yeah, there's so many of them. I see an Invigorate and a Croson Grip. Those are the only 2 green cards.
I mean, this deck plays so many free spells. Almost as if it's designed that way.
Yeah. A lot of cheap spells to interact with their cheap creatures that only have to deal a cheap amount of damage.
Yep.
Basically everything's discounted for the Infect deck. So he might actually hold on to this fetch and upkeep cast that crop rotation
I can see that.
rather than doing it end step. If you do it end step, you get to interact on Mac's turn rather than your own upkeep, which could matter. Looks like Mac's just going to shock Alex for 2 mana.
Boom, get in there.
I don't like that play very much.
What's in his hand? I don't think much. I don't think he has many other options.
I mean, I still think you're just going to leave up mana.
I don't know, you're not facing any threat yet that you know of.
That's true. But if Alex plays a creature here, you're going to want to interact, right?
Sure. Well, you have removal in your hand and you have counters for that.
Okay. Invigorate is the draw. A lot of damage. And a Wasteland. Maybe Mac's not going to be able to deal much more damage with that Mishra's Factory. We're going to see a Green Sun for 1 here.
Yep.
And see, I just think that you want mana up for when you get into a counter war. Days and Spell Pierce are just so much better in situations like this.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Alex didn't leave a Trop untapped here rather than leaving that Wasteland up. Unless you plan on Wastelanding this turn, I don't think you need the Wasteland untapped. I will say, rather than playing lands in front or lands behind, Alex Kibner is deciding to split it down the middle vertically and play lands on the left, creatures on the right.
Makes sense to me. I don't know.
It looks like maybe slanted at a 45-degree angle, actually.
Yeah.
It looks like we are going to see a waste. Take out that Trop, or the Tundra.
Tundra, yeah. So,
We're going to see a white mana for swords.
oh, maybe his plan for holding back the wasteland is force the swords. That's exile. There you go. Which is actually relevant in the matchup.
See, if you leave up a Trop here, you get to bluff Spell Pierce, and then Mac gets a lot less incentivized to play the Swords of Plowshares here.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of like. The argument for leading up waste is that you can, when he goes to swords, you can waste the Tundra, and then theoretically he could be off white.
I have to note that the Stasis deck is playing Thwart, and I really want it on camera.
Playing what?
Thwart?
Thwart. Yep.
We talked about Thwart
We
earlier.
talked about Thwart. Cool. Let's hopefully we can end the night with some Thwart when we've already done Didgeridoo.
Yeah. Hit all the old school legacy staples.
Yeah.
Vendilion Click is a draw for Mac, and that's really his first action card. He's been drawing a bunch of nothing until now. Imagine now he's just going to pass the turn. He wants to flash in that V-Click.
Yep.
Alex also has a Dryad Arbor. If Mac attacked with the Mishra's Factory, Alex could block with the Dryad Arbor and then pump it with Invigorate as an effective wasteland.
Looks like Alex is going for the Inkmoth Nexus here. Yeah.
Yeah, making an Inkmoth. If he attacks, Mac's going to flash in that V-Click. That would be pretty powerful. Flying blockers are at a premium in these matchups.
Yep. Oh, he's just going to do a draw step. I don't like that.
Always Ambush Viper.
Yeah.
I used to always flash in V-Click during draw step, but I realized that I tend not to care. If the card that they drew that turn is a huge top deck, sure, but at this point in the game, I feel like you're much more likely to have an action card in your hand, and so playing it when it's relevant matters more, either during the combat step as a blocker or during the end step
Yeah.
as a surprise, guess you didn't see this one coming.
Yeah, and maximize your mana. Kind of thing.
Yeah, because right now Alex now knows that Mac's going to be tapped out for his entire turn, and that can potentially change how the turn goes.
Yeah, and then Alex is playing right into this. He's forcing, which is going to force. But Max is just going to let it counter. Because, yeah, if he didn't, he would almost be dead. It looks like he has 2 Invigorates there.
Do you think Alex is going to try and go for it here?
I think you go for 1.
Okay. See if that works.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just 1. And the thing is, it, like, halves the clock, right?
Yeah, very true. It guarantees this damage through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. You get to also bluff Finds of Vastwood, which is a huge deal here because Alex only has a single mana up.
Yeah. Yeah, and Mac having the white mana up is big. You don't want to just jam 2 and get swords and then you're done.
Yeah. A 3-for-1 is much more painful than a 2-for-1.
Yeah.
So it looks like we're going to the damage step.
But yeah, the risk for doing. The other thing too is that the other thing too is that playing the other one right there isn't lethal. It doesn't reduce the clock at all. It just puts them at 9 poison.
Yeah, it also lets them know.
Which is not 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now Mac has to not only worry about any pump spell, basically, other than Berserk, I guess. But now he is at 10 life. He is under pressure. He has, 2 poison coming across if he doesn't do anything.
Looks like he's going to play this E on 1 now that there is a valid target for it. Well, not target, but a valid card with that right mana cost.
Sure, I guess. I mean, he had the Mishra's Factory to block too, but...
And I think you do. You line up the Mishra's Factory to block, and if Alex plays a pump spell, then you get to blow him out. Well, not blow him out. It's pretty obvious that it's going to happen. It's kind of telegraphed, but this disincentivizes Alex from attacking. Looks like he's going to activate, and I imagine he's going to swing.
Yep.
So this Invigorate is lethal.
Yes. I assume you go for it here, yeah. Because your opponent didn't kill it last turn, so they would have had to rip the Source of Plowshares.
Or potentially, Max had the Swords of Plowshares all along, is what Alex is thinking. And this at least got through 5 damage.
No, I would have.
The
If
problem
I had the Swords to Plowshares, I would have taken 5 off the Invigorate and Swords to end the turn.
and stuff. Okay, makes sense. I like that. I think you're right. A lot of Infect is bait and switching on your opponent.
Yeah.
Looks like we're going to Mac's turn. Looks like he's going to untap and draw. It's Path to Exile.
Path to Exile, that's a good draw.
He's got 2 in hand. I think you just ship the turn. I don't think you want to play a land here.
I don't think you want to get in here either.
Nope, absolutely not. You just send the turn back. You're the control deck. You just want this game to go long.
Yeah.
You don't really care about dealing damage to Alex's life.
I mean, his thought here is he can hop EE, activate, and attack.
I don't even like playing the land here. You already have a fetch land in play, so if you draw Brainstorm, you want to put cards back.
Theoretically.
If Mac draws a Brainstorm here, playing that land is pretty punishable. And I don't think that land does anything for him.
Oh.
Is it a K-Grip?
Oh, it looks like he has
2
a...
K-Grips in hand?
I
Or
think
is
he
it
has...
2 Zergs?
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't know.
Alright, I'll take 1. Sounds good.
Take 1.
Oh, wow. I don't like doing this. I don't think you want to do this pre-combat. The only time I would ever play my removal spell pre-combat is if the swing is lethal.
Yeah, when you absolutely need to.
I do like fetching the basic planes here, though. If you fetch a Tundra and Alex has a crop rotation, he can crop rotate for a Wasteland and waste your Tundra. Play the last card in my hand. It's a path. Is this good? Yes,
Got
no?
there. Got there.
Looks like it is good. That'll get exiled.
It is where the sun path for.
Alex
2
is
exile.
Alex is going to find his basic land
Yep.
and put that into play tapped. So Blighted Agent, he can't actually cast
He
this
can't
turn.
answer. Yeah, you should.
Yeah, this is going to be super gross.
Josh is going to go get that fixed. Yep.
Alex did not know that Path put the land into play tapped.
I mean, he's a vintage and legacy player, so...
Understandable.
Yeah. Though, to be honest, I've seen Path being played a lot more in Delver because Swords is kind of a nombo with your aggro-y
Yeah, that's
tempo
the awkward
control.
part. Swords to Plowshares stops the tempo, and then Path to Exile stops the tempo. Swords to Plowshares stops the life gain.
Yeah.
And so, which one you want to give kind of puts you in an awkward situation. I do like attacking there for Mac. He doesn't have to worry about the Syncmoth Nexus. However, Alex does have a Croson Grip, so he can just Croson Grip that EE, which it looks like he's going to do now.
Yep.
And it's going to generate no value. You cannot respond to that activation,
Nope.
sir.
Done.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yep. In for 1. And that's what, 7 poison? Yeah.
Yeah, up to 7. It's dry. It's a Ponder.
That's a good draw.
Yeah, that's what you're looking for. You want to find cantrips. Actually, you want to find dig through time, I think. That's really the draw.
You don't have that card anymore.
Really too bad. So I like putting True Name Nemesis on top and Path to Exile underneath.
It's Swords. It's Swords.
Or yeah, sorry. True Name and then Swords.
Yeah.
I like it that order because True Name stops the Inkmoth, or the Glistener Elf from attacking, and then
Yeah.
Swords will deal with the Blighted Agent.
That you know about for some reason.
Yeah, that you get the free information of. And if you put it in this order, you're incentivized to Swords the Glistener Elf, and I don't like that very
Yeah,
much.
exactly. I agree.
And I think you also fetch away the Force of Will. I don't think you want Force at this
Nope.
point.
I agree 100% with that line.
That's one of the problems with these legacy decks nowadays is they have the cantrips to dig through their deck, but they don't have any actual card advantage cards. So once they're down to top deck mode, they don't really have any way of getting back out of it. Looks like Mac is going to stack his deck with the Swords on top.
I don't like that. Well, the argument there is that you... I don't know, if you're taking the Swords, you got to hold back the Mistress Factory. Nope, and he's going to Swords that.
I don't like
line.
Swords the Glistener Elf.
No.
either. Alex has to be ecstatic about that.
Yeah.
He's like, oh man, that means you don't have a removal spell for my Blighted Agent.
I don't know if I feel ecstatic about that, though, because then I would be nervous to what else is on top of his
No,
library.
fair enough, fair enough.
I mean, I don't think Alex is a choice other than to jam here.
Yeah, you absolutely jam here. Anytime my opponent ponders with a fetch land in play, I assume that they're going to only be taking at most one other card from that pile.
Yeah.
And it's about 50-50 on whether or not there's 2 good cards or 1 good card off that ponder, is
Yeah.
the way I always look at it.
Yeah.
And And the problem is you don't get to know until after you have your turn because it's going to happen EOT.
Yeah.
Lighted Agent and Noble Hierarch are the drop. Man, if Mac were to draw a Supreme Verdict here, it'd be huge. Too bad he has one exiled.
I think you just have to. I think you should have cracked the fetch too. He should. Once you know True Name is.
True Name doesn't block Lighted Agent.
It's just gonna take 2. Why not?
Why would you block there? And then for 3, here's a True Name. Your turn, sir. And Alex, you know what? This clock is very close. Assuming Alex doesn't draw a pump spell, which is, about a third of his deck.
So he's at 9.
Yeah, he's at 9. So that's 2 more turns.
Well, he's got a chump with the Noble Hierarch.
Oh yeah, 3 more turns. Oh, and he's got another Crossing Grip in his hand.
This is lethal. This is lethal.
Yeah. 7. We got 7 Infect, so that'll be 8, and then 2 Exalted is going to be 9, 10. Yeah, that's Xaxes.
Yep.
Mac does not have an answer because he stacked his library in the wrong order, I believe.
Yep. Ponder. I can ponder too.
I will go to the pond and see what's there. He's got the 3-Wolf Moon Ponder, though. I like that one more.
I like that one more.
I feel like a lot of the Legacy community likes the older cards more than the new cards, and I strongly disagree. I think that the best art is the best art.
That's why I like the Mercadian Mask Brainstorm.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. I don't like the guy's head literally storming.
Yeah. That's the conspiracy one, correct?
That one, or also the original Ice Age art. There's kind of a storm coming out of his head.
Right. They are different, but I do know the one you're thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like that's going to be matched. A quick 2-0.
Yeah. Yeah, so quick 2-0 on that. We have plenty of time left, so maybe we can get another match going.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome back to the booth, guys.
Yeah.
Here at Card Kingdom's weekly Legacy tournament. That was round 3.
Yeah.
We have 18 minutes and 40 seconds left in the round, so more than enough time to get another game on camera. And I'm assuming we're at the point where there are people just about ready to go into game 3, which is perfect because that's where we like to find them, right at the start of the game.
Yeah.
So we're going to go down for just a second, try and find you a match, and then come back to you guys live. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.